Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised. Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Live by the Three Sports Podcast on the Evening Rush Network. This is Coach Matt, joined by the Joker, who's going to be taking the flight with me today. Tyler couldn't make it today, so Joker's riding shotgun with me. What's up, Joker? How you been, man? How was your holiday weekend?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there, enjoying the weather, enjoying everything.
Absolutely.
You know, it was good weather this weekend. It was excellent across the board. So, no rain, no nothing. It was all right.
Now, what did y'all get? I know you're over in Buffalo, so where'd y'all get up to over in Buffalo?
I didn't do too much. I know a lot of people was out barbecuing and stuff, and everybody was out the parks and stuff. With the kids and stuff like that. A lot of kids went to the zoo and stuff like that, and everybody just doing the family thing. I stayed in the house. I had a lot of prep work to catch up on the business, so I didn't really do too much. A couple of neighbors sent me a couple of plates.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sample up on something, nibble on something. But then besides that, I was good. I didn't really do nothing real big. My big holiday probably 4th of July. I might do something big on 4th of July.
That's when you go hard. Okay. So you said the weather was good. It was nice. So I think we got close to 80. I don't think we hit 80 down in the city over the weekend. I think Sunday it got to 79, but I think that's as high as it went. How was it for y'all over in Buffalo?
Yeah, I believe it was like 82.
Oh yeah, so shoot. So y'all got.
Yeah, it was 82. It was hot, muggy. Yeah, it was, and it was a little breezy during the afternoon. As soon as it get in the evening, it got a little breezy, got a little comfortable where you can, where you can walk the dog and walk with the family, get some fresh air. So it was real good weather. It was amazing weather. We ain't had that good weather in the holiday in a long time. So, everybody was definitely enjoying that, taking advantage of that situation.
Absolutely. Summer, looks like it might finally been here. It took a while, but it's, we'll see how long this lasts. But definitely want to let the people know where they can follow the show. Please follow us on all streaming platforms. Google Play, Apple Podcast app. Please download the Evening Rush Network, but you can also catch us on Amazon Fire Stick, Spotify. All streaming platforms. You can catch the show. Please follow us on IG, Live by the Three Sports Podcast. And also, like I said, please download the app for the Evening Rush Network. A lot of great programming on there, different shows, different vibes, fashion, entertainment, music, got some DJ spinning on there. So definitely lots of different entertainment on there that can keep you entertained throughout the day and throughout the week. So please, Joker, please, Joker, plug your shows, on the network and what else you're doing so that people can catch up with you.
Yeah, y'all can catch me on 716live.com and listen every morning on the morning show at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be on the morning show. Me and Vet Green, the Queen, got the morning show on there. For good music, good conversation, good old school music. We play that old school 80s, 90s R&B, hip hop. Celebrating that 50 years of hip hop. And then I got the on Evening Rush Network, I got the Underground Lounge every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I have a good, amazing guest coming out of Buffalo, a boom bap MC, a hip hop group called The Lead. They will be on tomorrow, chopping up with them. Doing what I do, keeping everything going, still producing and marketing manager and all that good stuff for different companies like the Evening Rush Network. And stay busy.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, man. Well, we only got about 25 minutes before these finals jump off, so we got to get to it because we're gonna make some predictions, but we don't want to people to say we got influenced anyway by how the game started. So we got got about 25 minutes before it tips off. So let's go back a little bit, man. So we gotta address it. So conference finals, Eastern Conference Finals. Both you and Ty both said if it got to Game 7, the Celtics was gonna take it, and it didn't go that way. It was a crazy final. Heat went up 3-0. Then the Celtics came roaring back, won 3 in a row. then they took it back to Boston, and I think y'all wasn't the only one thinking that
Yeah.
that Boston had the momentum and they was coming back home, and they were the number one seed. Boston was the eighth. I mean, I'm sorry, the Heat were the eighth seed. So I think a lot of people saw it going the way that y'all did, but it didn't go down that way. So what happened? What do you think happened? You think that Celtics just ran out of gas with the comeback, or the Heat just wasn't playing their best ball for 3 games and turned it on? Like what do you think happened to make it go that way for the?
I think they felt that if it ain't broke, if don't fix it, and it worked out that way. You have to fix it because he came in swinging the first quarter, man, or at least the first 7 minutes. They was dropping everything. They had a quick 11-point lead, real quick, and what I'm saying, I'm like, this ain't looking too good. And then once you get the lead, once he get the lead, it's hard for any team to come back. Really,
Right.
they really once they get hot, they get hot. But once they cold, they cold. And they just came in and blast off, and they had a strategy with it. I could tell they definitely was figuring out how they can, because the Celtics got some big boys, man, and one thing that I see the Celtics, I think the Celtics made a mistake is they was playing their game, they playing the Heat's game instead of their game,
Right.
trying to catch up. Shooting those threes. They got big men. I think they should have went straight to the paint. Tired them out, muscle them up a little bit. I think they were scared a little bit on the foul trouble, because I think the coach was on them about that. You be careful on the foul trouble, because the last couple of games in the series they had a little foul trouble. Try to keep them off the line, keep the Heat off that line, because they do shoot pretty
Right.
good on the line when it is hot. So
Mhm.
it was bounce out on both sides of what the Celtics. A little fear was in there, and then they start playing their game just to not to get fouled out and have foul trouble, and it don't work like that. The Heat's game is the Heat's game, and the Celtics game is the Celtics game. So
Right.
and they took the L.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and he definitely play. They defend really well, and like you said, if they get a lead, it's hard to come back on them because they defend at a really high level. And Celtics, now Jason Tatum got hurt on the first play of the game.
Yeah,
He's played okay, but in those, like I always talk about, in those games, in those moments, superstars got to go. They got to go off. They got to
yeah,
show. Not just play
yeah,
okay. They got to take it to another level. And I don't know how much it was the moment or Jason Tatum's injury. We've seen, like I always say, we've seen those type of
yeah,
guys get hurt in the, in big games and still come through and get it done at a major level. That didn't happen. And then, co-star Jaylen Brown did not
yeah,
have a good. He didn't have a good game,
nah,
and can't have that.
yeah.
These are finals. You're trying to win it. Dudes got to show up and play. They got, and not just play. They got
Yeah,
to get it done.
and you can't flop your way into victory either.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of flopping, and they wasn't getting the calls. Like, play your game. Don't try to force a foul. You can't flop a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they started doing that in the third quarter, and that's not the answer. No,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that's not the answer.
Now, so what do you think is going to happen with that Celtics team before we move on? For me, I always look at that Celtics team. I think they have talent. I think when they play well together, they look really good. Obviously, they were finished with they were the best team in the Eastern Conference. But I just look at them and just say that I don't know how much those guys consistently like playing with each other, and I don't know if it was necessarily a symptom of that. But
Hmm.
you have they did say that they were bringing the coach back, Missoula, for another
Right.
year. I think that was announced today, so that at least from a coaching standpoint, they're going to keep it together. And in the NBA, there's always going to be free agents and moves and stuff like that. But Jaylen Brown has expressed his displeasure, not necessarily with the Celtics organization as a whole, but more so Boston. And like I said, I don't know how much those two dudes like coexisting with each other. I think I don't know if Jaylen Brown likes being maybe a little bit in Jason Tatum's shadow somewhat. I think he's respected as a player, but I still think they look at Jason Tatum as the man on
Hmm.
that team. I'm not sure how Jaylen Brown feels about that. So do you think that's a team that gets shaken up a little bit as far as splitting those two up, and for me, it seems pretty obvious. They're going to keep Jason Tatum, and it would
Yeah.
be Jason Brown be the one that ends up getting
Uh,
moved out if they feel they have to, go in a different direction. So, do you think that's something that's well? Let's go it this way: two different directions. Do you think it's something that will happen that the team will get broken up, and also do you think that's something that should happen as far as you think, you know, they should keep those two guys together and try to make it work. So will it happen and should it happen? Those two things for you.
They both free agents this year.
No, I don't think they're free agents, but I think obviously you could make a trade with
Okay.
try to
Um.
try to get some obviously a lot of teams would take Jalen Brown for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I think they should keep them together for that one more year.
Okay.
Um, since they're gonna keep the coach there, keep the team there, and just um figure out from there, strategize from there. Because it makes it more easier to keep them there one more year. I don't know how long they both have on a contract. I haven't did research on that, but um, yeah, I would keep them. I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I'll work around what we have now. As far as the 1 year deals, the people that don't know the 6 man, the people on the bench, move them around a little bit. See, can we bring another co-star player that's a player that loves to play in that organization? See what's going, see what they can work with, strategize. It makes it easier for them to put together something solid for next year. To
Mm-hmm.
make the playoffs, they go right back into the semifinals to go to the finals. So I would definitely would keep that. I think it's solid. Why take one? Because then you're gonna have to double up. You gotta bring 2 or 3 people for that one person, and then you got to train them to play in their organization, how they play, how they do things, how they do rotation. We don't know what players can really come in and learn fast and know the organization. All those things. You're a coach, and I'm also a coach too. So it's like that's a whole nother. Do you want to do that? I mean, do you want to take that extra work?
Right.
Um, I will keep them there to make everybody's job a little bit more easier, but just strategize around that and see what happens. And we can always tighten some screws up throughout the season.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I on paper, I agree with you. You have two really good players. So on the surface, it would say, okay, yeah, don't split them up, right? Try to figure it out, try to work together. And I don't necessarily think it's that those two guys don't like each other off the floor, more so as that. But I just kind of get the vibe that Jalen Brown's not happy in Boston, and then in the situation where if he was to go to another team, maybe he's the top dog and not, I don't think he's not going to be comfortable being Robin. He's going to want to be Batman. If that, that's the way I like to describe it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so for I don't know if he wants to do that. So for me, it's I think it's 50-50. Like I could see them splitting them up and trying to bring it. They're not the Celtics still have championship aspirations, right? So they're not that's the thing. It's not necessarily to be good for them. It's like what type of team can we put together to win a championship? Not necessarily, they're not, I think they're in the mode of, we don't want to just be good and be a playoff team. Like, what do we need to do to win a championship?
hmm
So I think that's where the evaluation for them is going to come in is, can we win a championship with these two guys together? And, again, on paper, yes, because they're both talented. And if you have the right
yeah,
strategy,
yeah,
right situation,
yeah.
it could
I
work.
have a question though.
Yeah,
Um, if they do split them up,
right.
where would Jalen go? Would you think would be a good team for
I
him to
mean,
go to
it would.
or to trade?
They would probably, and again, you have three-way trades in the NBA where, one guy goes to one place and somebody, you know what I mean? So, there's a lot of different maneuvering that they could do, on a straight up and down, I don't know. You know what I mean? But obviously they're going to try to get a lot for him. They probably would try to get another superstar to go with Jason Tatum because in this day and age in the NBA, you need at least two guys that are at that level to even have a chance of, competing for a championship. So they're not going to get rid of Jalen Brown for role players. You know what I mean? It's going to be okay.
hmm
We trade him either to try to get another really good superstar or do like a 3-way trade where you release him and then he goes to one team and then you take somebody from another team, something like that. So I could see something more, just some, because if you have a really good wing scorer with Jason Tate, maybe the problem is you got two guys on the wing that kind of do the same thing, and that's where the problem comes in, as opposed to if you put Jason Tatum with a really good point guard or a really good big man that so now it balances out. You have an inside out attack, or you have a really good point guard that they can play, that doesn't necessarily need the ball in their hand all the time, and can kind of set him up, and you can run Jaylen Brown off. Run Tatum off of screens and get him open and play that way, and then have a good point guard that manages it. So I could see it being trying to get a really good big man. Now I don't know who that would be, but I'm just using that as an example. You have an inside outside punch. That could be a way to go. I don't know, but to me, I think it's more so about the mix and the personalities involved. That's where I see them maybe going another direction.
I know when Tatum was on $1 million per game.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Wallow and Gilly was trying to get him to come back home because he's from Philly. That's his hometown, and so he said, why don't you come on home? Like, after your contract is up, come on back home, finish your career up at home, do a LeBron James.
Right. Right. So, what you said Tatum is from, I thought Tatum was from St. Louis, or was he born in Philly or something like that? Maybe.
Yeah, I think he was raised. I think he was raised in Philly. He was born in Philly. Then he moved when he was a team back and forth because his family had split up, divorced, and he was going back and forth to his dad's house. And his dad was behind him in basketball, so he stayed there, during the school year, and stayed with his mom and doing the summer break in Philly. Yeah, and that's how he knows. And he knows he's real good friends with Gilly and a lot of them guys. And I think he was around Kevin Hart around a lot too. Around his neighborhood too. Yeah, Philly. So, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I didn't know that. So okay. All right, so now we got about 15 minutes before for a tip off. So we talked about the Celtics and what happened in that. So now we got the matchup, right? We got the matchup. The finals set. Tip off in about 13 minutes, and we got the Nuggets against the Heat. So you got the number 1 seed in the West against the number 8 seed in the East. So obviously the Nuggets have been playing good all year. They got my opinion, the best player in the NBA, even though he didn't win the MVP this year, and the Joker. And they got a really good team, really balanced. They have talent, and they're playing well together. It's not just they're just out there with talent. They're playing well, and the Heat, on paper will be up against it a little bit, but they've been up against it all year, all playoffs, and they keep coming up on top. So I think for that, it's going to have a little bit of drama, even though on paper it looks like, the Nuggets should kill them. But every time, the Heat is supposed to get beat, they don't get beat. they don't get beat. So, so how do you see it shaking out? Like, how do you see, how many games you see it going? Do you think the Heat, who you think is going to win and why, and how do you see it playing out?
And the high level that the Denver's playing versus versus how the Heat is coming in the game. Denver's more consistent all across the board, both sides. The consistency is everywhere with Denver. A lot of people saying they might win one game, Heat, but looking at the consistency of the Nuggets, I think I'm looking at them to sweep.
Sweep. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I think out of the 4 games that they do win off the sweep, these 2 of the games will be real close. I won't be surprised if one of them games go overtime and really go down to the buzzer. Because the Heat is very talented and they do know how to adjust very quick. But at the same time, they know how to adjust very quick. The Nuggets also know how to adjust very quick with with their opponents. So. So I think it's gonna be a real good game. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at sweep. I don't think they're gonna squeeze one game. A lot of people say 5, but that's the percentage that at the what was it, Yahoo Sports poll? I think 80% of the people say it's gonna go to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
I say sweep. My pick is going to be a sweep Nuggets.
okay. Now, do you take into account just what we've seen from, and I can't disagree with you from a talent standpoint, from how good the Nuggets are playing, and then also the Heat aren't at full strength. Now they haven't been at full strength, throughout the whole playoffs with Tyler Herro getting hurt, sixth man of the year, and he's been out. The coach Spoelstra already said that he's definitely not playing in Game 1. He's not ready yet. So don't know if and when if we'll see him at all in the if they were at full strength, I think they could at least win one game, and I still think they can win one because, like I said, every time people have counted them out, they found a way to rise to the occasion. I don't think that they'll beat the Nuggets, but I would be very surprised if they get swept, and not based on anything strategy wise, not talent wise, just based on just heart and just the way what they've shown is they just got heart, and they don't.
He hungry.
Yeah.
I think the far as media point of view of how they do things, how they talk, how the Heat talk, they seem like they're hungrier than Denver, but Denver is just so humble and they let the talent speak for themselves.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And I, in a way, I kind of feel like this is Denver's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how I kind of look at it. It's just like they finally got their group together. They stayed healthy. They still got games to play, so you never know, what can happen. But they assembled this team that was talented, but then they would have some injuries. One guy would be out, then another guy would be out, and they kind of bounced around. This is the first time they've had the whole group that they've wanted to be together, healthy, playing well, and this is kind of the vision that they've had, and it's been working out great for them. They got the best. The best. They'll have the best player on the court on their team. So it'll be like I said, Jimmy Butler's playing at a high level, but he's not better than Joker. So it's just in a way it kind of seems like it's Denver's time. Like, okay, they never made the final. They never made the finals before. They got their team together and they're in a groove. It seems like it's their time, but like I said, every time people have counted the Heat out, they find a way to surprise everybody. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So
What's your prediction of the series?
So I won't go sweep. I'll give the Heat 2. I'll say Denver will win in 6 games.
Okay.
That's my prediction. And I'm going, and I'm not going to say anything outrageous. I'm not taking any crazy takes. I'm going Nuggets in 6, Joker, Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Just keep it real simple. You know what I mean? I just think, he's just playing good, and it's just he's not slowing down. And anything anybody's trying to throw at him, he's just making it look like this is what
big guy like that can do everything, man. That
does that doing everything.
I think they said that I forgot who said it. They said that the last big man to really be all around player like that, man, and move around like that, since Akeem Olajuwon. So he make a play, he could pass the ball, he could shoot a 3, he could shoot a free throw. He can, he don't have a handle, but he keep it basic ball.
Yeah. You don't have to. He knows how to get to the spots where he needs to get to. He uses fakes. He uses just enough. Just give you enough to get you looking one way, then go the other. He knows what he's doing out there.
Yeah, he fundamentals is very simple.
Yep.
He keep it. He don't razzle dazzle. He just keep it simple, and he knows he know where he at on the court at all times. He know where his players is at all times. That's very hard for a big man to do. So
no, listen, you try to double team, find the open guy, and they have shooters, they got cutters, they got slap. They have a complete team. And they play well together. And he like you said, he's the he's the guy in the middle. He's making it all happen, and they play off of him. And and then it's pick your poison. Either you're gonna let him do his thing, and then he can beat you by himself, or you try to take the ball out of his hands, and then he's gonna find somebody. It's tough.
But if you try to take out his hands, you foul. He gonna be 52 to 55% at the free throw line. And he can kill you with the one shooter. So which way you want to go with that?
Right. he might try to.
Whatever smoke you're gonna bring, he gonna bring smoke on the opposite side. So
I would think the Heat would try to slow him down as far as how his ability with cutters and finding shooters and stuff like that. I think the Heat would probably try to play the Heat are known for playing zone and that's kind of been a thing that's has helped them is playing zone and throwing teams off and not letting them run sets and stuff like that. And especially somebody like Joker who does a lot with the ball and moves around the court and stuff like that. If you play zone, not to say that Denver won't have an answer, but it kind of changes some of the things that you have to do and the looks and stuff like that, which I think that he's smart enough to figure it out and stuff like that. But it's going to be an adjustment for them, and it'll be we'll see what that's what it is at this point, is just
right.
who can adjust to the adjustments.
Right. Right.
It's that chess game and just keep moving things around and stuff like that. So now you agreeing also you got so you say that you got a sweep, and you saying Joker MVP?
Yes.
Finals MVP?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Definitely. Yeah, he's definitely I love watching him play, man. He's very entertaining. Absolutely. Very entertainment player, man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, he's a total package, and like you said, and I agree that he's humble too. You know what I mean? Like they'll try to like make little comments and try to get him to say something, and he picks like and English not even his first language, right? But a reporter will ask him a question, and he'll get where they're trying to go, and he's like, oh. You're not catching me with that, no sir. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not getting me. No. It's like, he plays it the right way, and he's like I said, he's those guys. He makes it easy to root for him. Yeah, really, he does. What I mean? Like, he makes it easy to root for him. Like some people don't like him. He's not athletic. They'll say he's boring and stuff like that. I don't find him boring at all. I think he's unbelievable to watch.
He remind me a couple of cats when I played ball back in the day. Street ball. It's always that one white boy that come on the court and just do his basic fundamentals. He's not going between his legs. He's not doing the the fake little fakes. He's not doing no roundhouse. He's doing a plain little dunk. He's not really, what I mean. And we will pick that guy because number one, he's going to play defense, and plus he's going to make plays. That's right. When I play pickup basketball, that'd be one of my first picks. They be like, for real? Oh, we finna slaughter y'all. So we gonna see. And, because I know what I'm looking for when I'm picking. And he one of those type of guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. Joker gets it done. So now, do you see any surprises in the do you see anybody else stepping up? Obviously, in the finals, man, like, I always there should be, always going to look for some type of not drama, but something kind of happen. Obviously, you hope the drama isn't injuries or anything. So Joker's going to do his thing. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's been one of the better players, and if not I wouldn't say he's been the best player in the playoffs, but he's definitely been top 3, in the playoffs, for sure. Yeah. Do you see him? I know you say you have the Heat. The Heat getting swept, but do you expect him to rise to the occasion of the finals and really like show out? And maybe it's not enough for the Heat to win, but do you see him having like a big finals where he really solidifies himself as one of the best players in the NBA period? Which not to say he's not, but I'm talking about, there's levels to it, right? Like, do you think if he has a really big finals performance, even if they don't win, or say if they do win a couple games and he really, puts on a show with the whole world watching, do you think that's something that, he can do or will do? Or do you think it'll be like, okay, yeah, he's a good player, but,
I think he's going to execute. I think he's going to go to a different level. This is, I don't know. This is his first time going to the finals. I don't remember.
Yeah, first time.
So he's definitely going to highlight. It'll be a highlight film. I think he's going to hit double digits. I think he'll get a couple triple doubles. I could see him definitely playing his role. I could definitely see him. It's going to be Joker. There's going to be him. You know what I mean? And then everybody's going to fall into place as far as who's the top player in the series. The hands down. He's going to perform. I like Butler. He's done built himself since he's been in the league. He improved the lead. He'd improved himself. He'd improved in every team he'd played with. What he can do. He's very confident. He's definitely consistent in areas. I would
Mm-hmm.
say I'm not gonna say consistent in all areas, but in areas where you know that he's not going to slip up on. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? You know that he's going to play hard.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless what the situation is. You know what I mean? He's not going to slack up even though they 20 behind. You know what I mean? He's going to play like he in the 20-point lead. You know what I mean? He's always been that type of player.
Yep.
He's motivation with his team. He's a good teacher while
Mm-hmm.
he's playing. All those things he's going to do. He's not going
Mm-hmm.
to. I think he's not going to slack on
Mm-hmm.
anything. But 50% of the time he is going to elevate somewhere where he's not. We are not used to seeing him being at. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm just waiting to see what part of that is going to be
Mm-hmm.
the surprising part on Butler's behalf as a player. That's all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, they should be tipping off now. It's 8:30. So we got the predictions in. Joker's going with a sweep for the Nuggets. I'm saying 4-2 Nuggets. Joker MVP, and we both got Jokic winning MVP. But they should be tipping off right now. So we
Yeah.
will. So we'll jump to halftime and come back in the second half on Live by the Three Sports podcast on the other side, and we'll catch you in a few.
Yeah. No doubt.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys. So you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
All right, we are back. We are back. Live by the Three Sports Podcast, Coach Matt and Joker. So, Joker, I wanted to get your opinion on something, man. So, we got the NBA Finals going on, and normally the referees are not a big story in the NBA Finals. You're usually talking about the players, the coaches, matchups,
Yeah.
rivalries. It's lots of different things that fans sometimes. Lots of different things that go on. The referees usually are overlooked aspect of the finals. But over the last few days, there's been some controversy, I guess is the only way you could describe it, by from a referee, Eric Lewis, who's
Yeah.
currently under investigation by the NBA. And they ruled today that or sometime within the last day or so, that he will not be working the NBA Finals. The NBA has a ranking system where they evaluate officials based on how many calls they think they've gotten right, versus how many they gotten wrong, and they have percentages and different things like that as a way to evaluate referees to make sure that they're keeping, I guess, some accountability, and also and that's how they determine which referees get to work playoffs and finals and stuff like that based on their rankings and stuff like that. So Eric Lewis, who's been a referee, I believe it said for maybe 20 years in the NBA, so he's considered one of the better referees. But he's in a little bit of trouble. I'm sorry, his 19th season as an NBA referee, officiated over 1,000 games, and he's done the finals before. But he's in a little hot water. He's under investigation for allegedly having a Twitter burner account, is one of what he's being accused of. Now, there's some other accusations flying around, but what he's being held out of the finals for allegedly is having social media, the Twitter burner account, which is basically an anonymous account where he's not saying who he is, but I guess he's been making comments when people criticize officials, whether it's players or fans or different things like that. He'll go on Twitter and defend them, either himself or other referees, and kind of clap back, as they say, right? Because people always got something to say about the referees in the stands, online. The players get off and say some stuff about the referees and stuff like that. So I guess at least allegedly, he's being accused of doing those type of things. So yeah, so he's not working the finals, and he is ranked as one of the top officials, and they said that if it wasn't for this, he definitely would have got assigned to the finals because he's one of the higher ranking officials. But because of this investigation, he's not. So, what are your thoughts on that? Him not being able to referee because of comments that he's made online, about himself or other officials or whatever the case is. So, when you heard that, what were your thoughts on that?
It's I'm both ways on it in a way, on the perspective as the referee and perspective as a player. Um, you know, players been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Talking on Twitter and talking a little smack here and there, and even though some other controversy stuff that's been going on in the NBA when it comes to social media. But far as refs, um, and by my knowledge, of me being on social media, this is the first time I ever hear a referee
That's
having
true.
an account. I know referee. I know they have them
Sure.
personal. But I don't think I never really heard of a report of them saying anything about the games,
Right.
or nothing like that. They probably probably some family things or on vacation, or
Mm-hmm.
they about their kids graduating or college or whatever. But when it comes to the game, this is the first time I ever heard anything of that. Do you think that they do I think that the referee shouldn't do that? No, why not? I think he has a freedom of speech like anybody else.
Right.
Um, the way he did it is clever. He catfished himself.
Yeah.
Um,
The
you
burner catfish himself.
know what I'm
I
saying?
like that. He catfished himself. I like
Yeah, he
that.
catfished himself for the entertainment. I think that's clever. I like that. I think that's interesting. I don't think it should interfere with his job. I mean, if he said something appropriate or some racial
Right.
slurs, thing of that nature, yeah. But
Right.
me reading on all the allegations are going on from TMZ to ESPN to bench reports and all them other sports podcasts on YouTube. Um, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Right. Yeah. It's
By not my knowledge. I mean, it's funny and it's fun. I think it's very entertaining. It's very
right.
interesting. I would have jumped in the conversation if I was on my Twitter account. I would have jumped in
Right.
the kind of I would have seen it and have some fun with it,
Right. Go
and be
back
some
and forth.
entertaining,
Right.
some laughs, get some laughs
Right.
off the way. But yeah, I don't think that's fair. I think he should still get the job. I don't know why it is they saying that, if it's is it some favoritism going on? I haven't seen that
Yeah.
unless you've seen something different that I didn't,
Yeah, I mean,
see.
right. They're saying he might have some family members that were rooting for the Celtics, and so maybe they're saying did that influence his calls because if he has family members that are Celtics fans, maybe he wanted to see the Celtics win so that he'll make a couple of calls here and there, and then you start hearing the conspiracy theories of is he gambling or something like that because there might have been a time, in the game where somebody made a shot and if it was close to hitting a spread, you know what I mean? So then you hear all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
conspiracy theories. But like you said, just based on what he actually did, I agree with you. It does make it funny that he's
yeah,
using a burner
yeah,
account. So that makes it funny. So that's in my head, that's what hear is like, okay, are they saying that he shouldn't be doing this and going back and forth on Twitter with fans or whoever it is or reporters, whoever he's arguing with or making comments that it diminishes his
yeah,
professionalism.
yeah. But
You
what
know
do
what
you
I
do
mean?
wrong? That's what I'm thinking. I mean,
Right.
what's actually the problem?
Well, I
What's
think
the
maybe that for just make devils, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying maybe it's because if the referee is supposed to be looked at as the authority figure out there on the floor, and if he's engaging on Twitter with the fans or whoever, that maybe it diminishes his stature a little bit, where maybe people won't take him as seriously. Like, okay, like you're messing around on Twitter and you got, like you said, you got a burner catfish account. So now it makes you look like you're not a serious
hmm
person. So now will people start to question your calls or question what's going on out there or question your motives? Like, so say if it's a player, so let's use this as an example. If a player says something on social media or whatever about, oh, I didn't like the way this game was called or this, that, and the third, and then the fans jump on that or whatever and they start attacking the referee, and now the referee is a human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
should be able to feel that type of way. But now, if you respond back to that person, but you're not using your real name because you're using your burner catfish account,
Yeah.
if you go back into that conversation to defend yourself and you're mad about what they're saying, now does that at least give the appearance that you might have a vendetta against that player that said something? You get what I'm saying? Like where they're
Yeah, I get what you're
supposed to be.
saying, but I don't
It's
even think
almost
that's
like
the case.
they expect them not to. To me, it seems like you're the expectation is you're not human. Like you're supposed to do this job with no emotion.
Yeah.
Anything anybody says about you is not supposed to affect you, and you have to stay that way. And the minute that you show that something bothers you, then people are going to think, oh, then you have a bias. Then so if it's a player that says something about the way the game was ref and he responds to it, then the next game when if he's refereeing that player and he makes a call that may be a 50-50 call, they're going to say, oh, well, you called that against him because of what you said back then. You know what I mean? And then you can
Yeah.
get
Right.
into that.
Right.
So
Right.
to
Right.
keep it, totally where nobody can make that type of accusation and say, well, you can't say anything and you just have to take it. Otherwise, people are going to accuse you of this and then we have a problem. Again,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has come out and said that, but
Right. Right.
that's kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, you know what I mean? Where I think
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
making an issue out of it is.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's an issue. I think it's genius. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. Um,
It is that.
yeah, yeah.
It is
I
that.
think it's fun. I think he was having fun. I don't think he mean no harm with it
Right.
at all. I don't even think that he's the gambling thing. I don't see that by reading the different articles I was reading
Right.
about it. But I think it's genius. I think it's funny. I think it's genius, man. I think, yeah, but if it's causing his job over something that like he's human. He's not a machine.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? He's not a machine. Let him be human. Let him have fun. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Why not? He can't be serious all the time.
Right.
Because I see a lot of referees even joke with some of the players during the
Right.
little breaks and stuff they have when the timeouts come. They have a
Mm-hmm.
little jokey joke, laughy laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Little situ humor with the situation, having fun with it. That should be a problem. Then that's the case.
Right.
That should be a situation in the NBA. Then if that was the case,
Right.
no, you ain't allowed to joke around with the players when the timeout come. You don't have to have a jokey joke or inside joke
Mm-hmm.
or something. And that goes on all the time. It's part of the game. It's part of the
Right.
entertainment part.
Right.
And then after the timeout is done, get back on your work ethic and let's go. You know
Right.
what I mean? But it's stupid. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. I mean, but that's part of it too. Is that like you said? Then you hear certain things like, oh, such this referee likes this player a little bit. Well, look at them joking around their buddy. So then, yeah, if it's a call, oh, he never calls fouls against such and such because that's his boy, or he
Yeah.
won't do that. Or on
Right.
the
Right.
flip
Right.
side,
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
the referee and the player, they like I forget the guy's name they remember the time when the dude gave Tim Duncan a tech just when he was sitting on the bench and he didn't even say anything and
Yeah.
kicked him out the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you have those type of situations on the other side where like, oh, this referee hates this dude, so he's going to be out to get him. So anytime he's involved in anything, he's going to go harder at him. So I think the NBA tries to prevent, those type of,
Yeah.
and again, like you said, people are human and you want them to, but I think they're trying to keep that level of, okay, the referee is here, the players are here, and there's no favoritism or anything going on,
I mean,
and
eh, I don't know. You remember this when on the off season, when Michael Jordan used to go to the cigar spots and stuff out in
right,
Vegas. They used to hang out with referees.
right,
Charles Barkley,
right,
Oakley. You always hang out with some referees. Go out, get a cigar to get a taste of
right.
a cigar, get some wine and some cheese, have a local congregation, and just have a
Mhm.
good time in the off season on vacation. I mean, that should be a problem then if that was the case.
So here's the thing though, and I
You
think
know?
you alluded to it a little bit. Do you think, and it's not necessarily the increase in gambling period, because gambling was always a thing in sports, but it was illegal. Do
Right.
you think that now that you have more legal gambling in sports now, that maybe it has something to do with, well, we make so much money now and you got the gambling, sports gambling, there's advertising and stuff like that. We can't have it thought that there's some favoritism going on because now that affects spreads and stuff like that. Because I'm sure a lot of the gambling guys, they look into that stuff. Oh, such and such is refereeing this game. Oh, he likes that player or doesn't like that player. That's going to affect spread. You know what I'm saying? So do you think maybe that with the increase of the legal sports gambling, that having a referee that's maybe at least perceived to maybe not be partial by whatever he does off the court on Twitter or whatever thoughts they think he has,
Right.
you think that might play into the decision making?
I think it didn't come up yet, but I think in the next couple of days, probably the next 72, they're gonna bring that up because because it is it's legalized in a lot of states, and and people was making a fortune off this stuff, and it's like it's like they might have a rule regulation thing off the court. If you sign on the contract, you ain't allowed to go with Coach Bob from the Orlando Magic, chilling with LeBron James at his house, barbecuing on the 4th of July, and things of that nature. They might bring some type of rule regulation under contract that's going to control those things throughout the season of that. Throughout the time of your contract, you're not allowed to interact and have a fellowship type of coach that you got outside the court under that contract. I think that's going to come up next.
And both directions too. They don't want you to have friendly relationships, but they don't want you having negative relationships with them either.
Right.
Like you're supposed to be just neutral. Right.
Just business. Just do your job. Right. You play basketball. You referee.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And it's like it's going, and it might it might come to that because if this is an issue that they're bringing up, that this brother can't even ref at the finals over something over social media, something that's everybody been doing since 2002. You know what I mean? So I'm like, he didn't. No, like I said, he didn't say any racial slurs. He didn't have no sexual harassment comments. It was nothing like that nature. I think as long as they hit towards those lanes, you good.
Okay. Well, we'll see. It's it's still under investigation. He is off the finals, but we'll see. I don't know if he's going to lose. The ability to ref every game. I don't know because once they investigate, you don't know what what may come up in the investigation. So that remains to be seen.
They're gonna use him as an example.
Oh yeah.
To put the pressure on the other referees.
Absolutely, yeah. No question about it. No question about it. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
All right. So we got that drama, going with the finals, and then something I saw a couple of days ago, man, and it's just more drama, right? But that's part of sports. So Scottie Pippen, great player, top 50 player. I think he made the top 75 also. I'm pretty sure he did. Won a lot of championships with the Bulls. But there's been a lot going back and forth between him and Michael Jordan over the years. Before the Last Dance, the documentary came out. During that time, afterwards, he was on the documentary, so he did speak on it. But apparently, he wasn't happy with how it came out and how it made him look, or just a bunch of different things. Right. So he went on one of his actually former Bulls teammates, Stacey King. For those that remember the Bulls first run, Stacey King was one of their big guys, and he has a podcast called "Give Me the Hot Sauce." And last Friday, Pippen went on, and he described Michael Jordan as a horrible player. All right, so I'll read you the quote. He said, "I've seen Michael Jordan play before I came to the Bulls. You guys have seen him play. He was horrible to play with. It was all one-on-one, shooting bad shots. All of a sudden, we became a team, and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was. He was a player who was really not at the top of his category. It was just scoring." So that's the... then he went on to say, that LeBron James is going to be the greatest player to ever play statistically. No one compares to him. Does that make him the greatest player to ever play the game? ? He didn't follow up on that. So people have tried to reach out to, people, I guess, have tried to reach out to Michael Jordan to get a comment, but he, hasn't responded yet. So what are your thoughts? So let's start with, I guess we can take the context of what he's actually saying that Michael Jordan was a horrible player before he got to the Bulls and they started playing as a team. Do you share that opinion that Michael Jordan was a horrible player before they got there?
I would never, I would never say a horrible player with Mike. I never would say that, but I would say this. It's very interesting. This is very interesting. And I'm gonna be honest. Um, Pippen have a point.
Okay.
He do has a point. Um, Somebody else was putting the comments on some debate. I didn't get involved because I didn't want that notification going on my feeds back and forth. But somebody somebody had said similar to the same thing that you know, what player actually moved the team to a championship as leadership, ball playing skills, and consistency as a player to actually not just carry the team, but help the team elevate to where they can be also a good player also and win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of people say, you know, they say Jordan is one of them, but they say the main person that really did it with class was Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what Pippen is saying, he's not. Michael wasn't a horrible player, but I can't say they wouldn't start winning until they got Pippen.
That's
Period.
true. And
Period.
Phil Jackson and the whole,
Yeah, Phil, all that. But
right.
Pippen was definitely the extra man
Mm-hmm.
to build around to where they did build it to win since it's just championships. Facts.
That's true.
And for doing that, everybody is doing that in the NBA now. You're getting that 1-2 man, and then
Mm-hmm.
now they got the big three now. Like
Right.
it wasn't really a big three
Nah, no
back in
team
the Jordan
didn't
Pippen day.
have.
It was a big two.
Right.
It was a big two and the coach.
Right.
It was two. It was your two players and the coach. That was your big three.
Right.
Two on the field, one on the bench, making the plays. Now you got a really a big four now. Really, you got the three, uh, big three on the court, and you have your coach
Right.
who can maneuver that big three and make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know what I think different as a coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see if you agree. Every time I've coached a little league basketball or been assistant coach for a couple of high schools in South Carolina, and my perspective was always you have your big two or your big three, but my main thing is to win a championship. To me, was always get them two people off the bench that hit them double digits and play some defense.
Mm-hmm.
When one of your big men sitting down to rest, for 6 or 7 minutes on the bench, can that one person off the bench could score 17 points? You know what I mean? 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks in that 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And perform and do the job. So when the starter come back on there, he could just go ahead and finish them off, and let's go ahead and win this game. That's
Yep.
just been my perspective as a coach always.
Yep. No, I
You know,
agree with that. I agree with that. And what Scottie Pippen said as far as him being a horrible player, I mean, maybe he was just saying it to be, outrageous, whatever the case. If Michael Jordan has never been a horrible basketball
never was
player,
that type of player.
okay, he got cut from his
Pippen mad. He mad right there. He was upset.
right. So there's that aspect of it, right? So he's not even since he got cut from his high school team, he has never been a bad horrible player.
No.
Now, was he a winning player? No, but also the Bulls weren't a good team. So now, yes, they got Scottie Pippen, they got some pieces, they got Phil Jackson. He puts the system together and everything, and yeah, then they started winning. That happens to a lot of players. You know what I'm saying? Where they come in the league and they're still trying to figure out how to be a winning player. The team has to get better. The reason why he was a number 3 pick in the draft was because they were a bad team.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got the number 3 pick in the draft because they weren't good. So
right.
So that's part of it. The team had to get better before you started winning, right? And he was young, so yeah, it took some time for him to figure out, how. So, but him being a horrible basketball player, I mean, that's Scottie. That definitely sounds like sour grapes. To take it that far. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's the whole situation about they might have had some personal falling out or whatever over the course of time. Then he didn't like the way that he didn't like the way that he was portrayed in The Last Dance, the Jordan documentary, although he has some things to say about that. And, this isn't a TMZ type of show, you know what I'm saying? But, the elephant in the room that, we can't ignore it is
That's right.
the fact that, Michael Jordan's son is now dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Yes.
So, again, I'm not in that. I don't know any of these people involved.
Listen. I mean,
from the outside looking in, you could say maybe that might have something to do with some of the sour grapes. But
and a lot of celebrities on these small podcasts is like a couple of comedians like DL Hughley on his podcast has said that he hung out with Pippen coming up as a comedian when he was at Comic View and everything. And he said that he wasn't a good husband. He was really a prick. And he really, and then his wife is the type of person that always gets some get back. That was some get back. I don't think she loved or really loved Jordan's son. I think she's there for the bag and also to get back him to make her feel some type of way. And you know what I'm saying? And I can see that too. And it's in the tabloids now. It's the media's taking over, running with it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like you said, the elephant in the room is that let's go ahead and poke at the bear a little bit because it is what it is. I mean, it's hard not to talk about it.
But my thing is, though, I get it, but if it was Michael Jordan, then maybe okay. And then even then, you still sound a little bit crazy saying that he was a horrible player. And again, they've had their issues and everything going back before, whatever. But it's just like, all right, so now you're gonna pick the time to say that he's, that he was a horrible player. And I'm not saying the only reason why you're saying it is because honestly, if he had said it before all of that, even though it still would sound crazy, it wouldn't seem as it was as, like you said, it's just get back, right? Now, even if and again, you're gonna find it hard for people to take it to make valid what you just said about him being a horrible player. But come on, man, like be for real. But it makes it seem like even more laughable because people at first thought it's like, oh, you're gonna say this, but but it's like at the end, it's his son. Well, you mad? You know what I'm saying? Like you're mad at him, but why are you throwing? Now you want to throw that stone now?
Yeah, right.
It makes you look crazy, number one, and then it really makes you look like you're just saying it because of that situation. But then even at the end of the day, it's not him; it's his son. It's not like he can make. He's not like he said, "Oh, here, son."
But it is what it is.
Scottie, let's do this. Like that's
but it is what it is, though. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Us living life and being in situations in my past life, it is what it is. We know what it is. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. Like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? That they come on, bro. You know,
you feel the type of way, okay? And I get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, it's all on the media and all of that stuff like that. Like, that's a tough thing to take. I get it. You're like we talked about with the referees. He's a human being, so of course he might feel some type of way. But you're gonna get to say Michael Jordan is a horrible player because of what his son is doing. You know what I mean? Like that's like.
Come on, bro.
At the end of the day, man, like you're in your 50s.
You come on.
Like you gotta be a little bit more mature than that.
You could have came up something better than that, though, Scott.
Right,
exactly. You should have said something like he wasn't a good passer or something.
Right, exactly.
Not a terrible player. Like no, you know what I mean? Like he hauled the ball too much, like or something like that. That would have hit on the mark right there. Oh, he didn't stop hauling the ball until I got there. Okay, Now it's some of the reality blended up in there somewhere. Now we can go ahead and put the pieces together now.
Exactly. Now I agree with you. And it's like I said, and again, people are entitled to be in their feelings and all of that. Everybody's but Joe, man, you're in your 50s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not a young kid. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be a little bit more mature than that. Like, come on, man. Like, Michael Jordan's a horrible player. Come on, man. Like
the best hashtag in the world, man. Fact over feelings, man. Facts over feelings.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, man. Well, this is this has been great. Appreciate you, Joker. Coming through to step in and you're always welcome here. But this is solid today. Stepping in for Ty. So we appreciate it. On behalf of both of us, and another good episode. So we got our predictions in. The finals are about half an hour in, so we can go both check that out. But
but I'm definitely gonna watch that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. listen to it in the car. I'm gonna do some Uber Eats and listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good
Yeah.
luck, man. So yeah, but we appreciate everybody for the support, and please join us again next week on Live by the Three Sports Podcast on the Evening Rush Network. Have a great night.
Salute.